Okay, where am I going now? Sorry to do it this way, but I really don't have time for all this bullshit. So I have to do it the quick, sloppy way.
Raw fish and no. But then again, this is not an ethical issue for me. It's a matter of taste. And
like I said, you've declared it not an ethical issue. You don't. I'm saying you don't have a right to make that declaration. Just as I think any rational person has a right to say rape is an ethical issue. I have a right to have an opinion. And I even have a right to pass laws. I'm not even suggesting we pass laws, but I'm just saying I have a right to say it's wrong. I have a right to judge it wrong. And your obligation isn't to say, I feel it, therefore I shall do it. Your obligation is to explain how you can justify harming a woman to satisfy your pleasure. How you can justify violating her space, her rights, to derive your satisfaction.
that we don't make these assumptions that you do, so we don't understand your argument.
They're not assumptions, so you want to keep diminishing it into some subjective argument based on nothing. It's not based on nothing. They're not assumptions, okay? We have scientific, observable reality here. You're not assuming something when you sit there and watch a gorilla, or you watch a bonobo chimpanzee or some other animal. It's not assumption. You see its capacity. You see its brain working, okay? You see its emotions driving it. Go watch some chimpanzees. Watch the emotions, the rage, the hysteria, the passions. They're all fucking there.
We like to eat it. It's delicious, and I'll eat whatever I want. Now,
again, see, it's delicious. Therefore, I want it. I shall eat whatever I want. And well, I'm just telling you, you can do that, all right? But I'm going to call you an asshole. I'm going to just make it plain. You're an asshole, an insensitive asshole who's not appreciating the consequence of his actions, and you're being a selfish prick. And that's what I'll say. And you can say I can't say it, but I don't know. Just as, well, whatever. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. Just as I would say it in defense of any other ethical reality in our world, I will defend this simple ethical reality, that you can't just ignore the consequences of your actions. And that's what you seem to be saying is, I don't have to pay attention to any equation. I just have to obey what my stomach says to me. And that's no better than a man saying, I don't need your morality, I'll just do what my penis says.
I don't see cannibalism as wrong either. I don't draw a line to cannibalism. I don't draw a line to anything. If you want to eat it, whatever. As long as you don't, murder a person in order to eat them, then that's...
Well, what if you torture them in order to eat them? Is it okay if you torture them? All right, like I said, this isn't about just killing animals. This is about abusing animals. It's about locking them in little tiny pens and subjecting them to years, maybe, of horror, at least months of horror, and doing it over and over again, millions, billions of times, to these individual consciousnesses. All right, and you can keep rationalizing your way out of that equation and say somehow it doesn't mean anything. But if I put all of that horror on the moon, and it was just sitting there, that was the only thing on the moon, was the horror of our meat farms. I think if you looked at the moon as an objective observer, you would say, my fucking God, that's disgusting, that's obscene. Look at that suffering. I mean, I really don't know how you can't get it, that there's some kind of ethical issue here. This is not just a food choice.
Are humans worth more than animals, or something like that? I'm not going to go back and see the exact quote, but it was a question like that. And pretty much the universal answer was that it's subjective. And that's ultimately the thing here. Your rational conclusion is based off a subjective assumption. And
it's just stupid. That's like saying I'm only subjectively recognizing your humanity. I don't have any obligation to objectively recognize it. I just have to subjectively recognize it. So if I don't think if you don't feel human to me, if I don't get the impression that you're really human, I can just say, no, he's a reptilian, or he's a robot man, or he's something else. But I don't have to appreciate your humanity. I don't have to recognize it. I don't have to see it. I don't have to acknowledge it simply because I don't feel it. I mean, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It's not a rational, logical argument. It's complete fucking unicorn crazy mush.
morals. However, not everybody has those same morals or ethics.
I gotta go back a little.
I enlightened you a little bit as to the problem. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying anybody here in this issue is wrong, because ultimately it's a matter of preference. And for vegetarians, it's a matter of morals. However, not everybody has those same morals or ethics.
It's about the rational truth. It's about the basic observable reality. All right? Either the animals are experiencing something of merit, of significance, okay, that needs to be addressed, or they're not. But there's no point in saying this. All these different opinions are equally valid. Okay? There's a truth here. All right? And you can keep pretending it doesn't exist, but it does. Maybe you think the water is murky enough, that the atmosphere is gray enough that you can say, well, somebody doesn't have to see it. They don't have to recognize that it feels anything. I think that's as preposterous as somebody saying, I don't have to recognize the humanity of a black man, or I don't have to recognize the humanity of a woman, or some other. I mean, to me, that's just as preposterous. I mean, you don't have to say animals are human, but you have to say they are something. Okay. So that should do that. So there's probably going to be more of this stuff. I mean, even the comments, I haven't even gotten to the comments yet. I mean, a lot of dumb remarks in there. Oh, we need vitamin B12. Well, guess what, a moron? In our natural environment, we consumed enough B12 in the damn dirt we ate with our food. Natural food products that we have eaten in nature have lots of B12 in them. Nuts, berries, get real. Jesus, idiots. So anyway, till next time. I hope this wasn't 2 parts. Well, it is 2 parts, so sorry, lament.